Well, hello, and welcome to the Points of Interest podcast. This is the most generic podcast on the internet. My name is Josh Hawks. I am the 303 Ninja. And right over there, he is my podcasting partner for life. He is the other guy. It's Mr. Francis Fernandez.
Hey, I'm gonna see if you'll say anything, but apparently somebody did a thing 6 days ago. Did you see that?
No, I have 16 days ago.
16? I have 6.
Oh, okay. Well, how is the guy that runs
16,
the shit?
You're right. It is 16.
Okay.
You're right. It's 16.
I think
couldn't see the one because my thing is off.
And I believe we made mention.
We already mentioned.
Yes,
Okay.
but thanks
If it was
again
16 days
to
ago, but I
what
thought
is
it
it? G-Taggin? G-Taggin? G-T-A-Aggin? What is it? I don't know either, but thanks anyway.
You know, some people I understand. Usernames are hard because it's easy to take the normal usernames. Like a lot of people just take regular usernames and just run with it. All the cool stuff, regular worded names, like El Jaquez or something, which I'm sure people are upset that El Jaquez is taken.
I'm sure.
Or 303 Ninja. Like they're like, oh man, I wanted to be the 303 Ninja. You know,
There could be only one.
There can only be one. That's true. You're the Highlander of 303 Ninja. So like I'm sure out there somewhere someone wanted to be like the GTA Giga guy, and then they're like, oh, it's all taken. Well, then I'm the GTA Gaian. That works.
Yeah.
You don't have you don't have much of a choice. You got to stick with whatever they give you. You got to work with what they give you. So
I like when
anyway.
you choose a username that somebody else has, but then they throw like an accent thing over, a replacement letter or something, or like, no.
They give you numbers now, right? Like they just give you like, here's 4 random numbers that you can put at the end of the name that you wanted. Mr. Big Balls, you'll have to be Mr. Big Balls 6969. Like, oh, okay, that's better.
I think I may have told you this in the world before, but my very first apartment I had on my own was in building Double D, apartment number 69.
Why did you leave?
Well, it got to be too expensive.
Yeah.
And it was like it was in a not great neighborhood of town.
Oh.
But for a first apartment, it was satisfactory. I had a door-to-door drug salesman. He brought a prostitute to my house one time to like smoke a joint, and I was like, I think this is weird. And okay, you smoked a joint, get out of my house.
On 420 Blunt Lane.
Yeah.
Just add on all the things that like people like to have.
What was funny is that this entire apartment complex, all the numbers on the doors were huge. Then we get to my door, and it was a peephole with a little tiny little, not even bronze looking thing. It was just like this weathered looking little tiny thing that said 69 on it. I'm looking around at all the other numbers, little quad, little breezeway quad kind of situation. I'm like, hey, what gives? And the guy looked at me. He's like, come on, man, 69? We got tired of replacing the numbers. I'm like, oh,
I was going to say, yeah. Because a lot of highways and stuff that may have like 420 or 69 as like part of the highway number. Those signs get stolen because
yep. The 420 sign here that was getting ripped off all the time now is 419.9.
Ah!
And they moved it a meter, or however the distances are figured out for those things.
Hi, Ginger.
Glad you're Ginger's here. In the house.
That's so funny that the 419. That's really funny. I like that. I think that I feel like those stupid little signs. You can get one at like a Spencer's. Go to a Spencer's.
Well, I mean, you got to find a Spencer's first. and
We
then
still have
go
ours.
to it.
We still have ours.
I think we have one, maybe two left here. And I don't think there are any like the central locations. I think they're all on the outskirts type of malls here.
They're going away. Not to make the weird comparison, but they're going away to like KB Toys and Toys R Us.
Well,
Stores are going.
Francis, since we're talking about malls,
Yes.
it's a great time to bring up the one thing I had written down that really gave me interest this whole past couple weeks. Apparently,
What was that?
the oldest mall in America, somewhere on the east side of Mississippi or something, I don't know. The Arcade Mall is what it's called. As most malls across America have been dying and either getting torn down or turned into other things, the Arcade Mall, wherever this Arcade Mall is, has turned the second and third floors of the mall into about 100 or it's either 50 or 100 small apartments.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
There's a mall here in Boulder called the Flatirons Mall. And apparently it's not even that old of a mall, maybe 20 years old, which I guess is old now, but I mean, in the world of malls, I don't think it's that old. They're already like redesigning and have torn down part of the mall and turned it into apartments. Not in the same fashion as this Arcade Mall,
Yeah.
but like the apartments are on mall property. So the question I had, and I guess this more pertains to this Arcade Mall, but if the local mall in your area converted a bunch of spaces to these, I think the lady, she said she was in a 200-ish square foot apartment. Could you do it?
Okay.
Would you do
It's the size of the studio.
Yeah. And the weird thing about the zoning, not coding, well, coding as well, but zoning, because it's in a mall, it's not zoned necessarily for residential, so you couldn't have any open flame. So this lady had Francis frozen. Who knows if anybody can see anything else. So we'll just wait for the hiccup to go by while the internet that I'm sucking on is like from 56K modem, I think. Sometimes it just gets tied up, slow. I don't know how to fill time because I don't even know if any of this is going out. The audio people, man, what a joy this is for you, as you don't know what's going on. The video on Francis' side has frozen, and it sucks. The internet here is
I can hear you at least.
Oh, that's good at least. Well, now you're back.
You were live on Twitch still the whole time.
Okay, good. I don't know if that was a thing or not because I can't monitor. If I tried to monitor while streaming and everything, it would probably set fire to the house.
You were talking to Ginger, so Ginger was hearing everything you said.
Okay. Well, the zoning couldn't have any open flames, so I think the lady had like a hot plate, and like
no ovens. Okay.
No ovens.
Or
yeah.
No stoves. No stoves. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's no oven either. There's no cooktop. There was no oven. There's no cooking built in. I'm sure a hot plate, toaster oven. But the
Sure.
I guess the gimmick would also be that because you're at a mall, there's opportunity to go eat. Not necessarily in the food court. This mall apparently has like restaurants, real restaurants in it.
Yeah.
But let's say the fucking, I don't know what mall you're near. I don't know any malls in California, but the mall near you converts a bunch of space to residential, to these small loft-sized, not even loft, studio-sized. Could you do it?
Well, the question I have really, because I know for a lot of mall shops, Ginger says I watched that same video. The building at the arcade is in Rhode Island, so it's a Rhode Island
Oh, okay.
arcade mall. Okay. Um. Yeah. So my question is, in that video, did they say whether or not the individual apartments had built-in bathrooms? Because most bathrooms are outside of the businesses, so it's the
Mhm.
shop, and then you got to go outside to go to the bathroom. I'm not going to go to a public bathroom. I want my own bathroom. I want my
It
own
didn't.
place to shower and take a crap.
I mean, it didn't. It wasn't the most intimate of all tours, and I don't remember if I watched the entire video or not. But I do believe I saw a little tiny bathroom, like Japanese style bathroom, like just tiny.
Yeah, I mean, look, if it had a bathroom, I'm pretty content. I don't really need too much on the form of like, I could get a little electric stove or something and cook there, and that'd get the job done. But could I do it? I don't see why not.
I mean, they all
Would I
had their
do it?
own. And something while you're just asking me that last question, something I thought about was, yeah, you're in a mall. The mall closes. Can you go freely in and out of said mall? Is there a special residential entryway? Something that the video didn't talk about it. And now right now I'm just like, wait a second. The logistics of, are you on curfew? Are you not allowed
We
to
have a couple
leave?
of outdoor. We have a couple of outdoor malls, not a couple, actually, I have quite a few outdoor malls that have like the first floor is all shopping, and then all the floors above it are homes, are housing. So yes, you can, yeah, you have access to your home after hours
Hmm.
and whatnot. And you park in their parking structure and all that stuff. You have your own private parking in the parking structure, and so yes, you do have access. Once the mall closes, you still have access to your apartments. But these
It's
were
like, shit, I gotta
not
get
from a
back to my
mall.
house before fucking 9:30. The mall closes at 10.
So these were built with the apartments in mind. I don't know about like the Rhode Island arcade. I'm curious if they. Yeah, I mean, they have to retrofit it so you can go in, whenever you want
Yeah,
to.
I'm sure they,
Um,
you know,
but
once
yeah,
the
no, you're right. Yeah.
Macy's left or whatever, fucking J.C. Penney was out of the anchor store. I'm sure they can convert a lot of that to hallway space and an extra doorway just for residents.
So I had recently learned that the mall near me, which is of course the famous mall from Back to the Future, the Twin Pines Mall / Lone Pines Mall,
Hmm.
was bought and is rumored to be torn down and turned into apartments. So it is going to be which sucks because the movie theater, like a really like popular and well like used movie theater, is there, and also our Japanese arcade, the first one to ever make it into the United States, is there.
Mm.
So I'm curious if they'll just keep those two really big institutions and then cover because the rest of the mall is dead. There's nothing left in that mall, really, except for the the Japanese arcade and the movie theater. Everything else is more or less dead,
And the
which is
Lone
sad.
Pine Mall sign is inside, is it not?
It is. The Lone Pine Mall sign is inside the mall, just kind of sitting there in a sad little corner with no with store closed down storefronts all around it.
No
It's kind of
fanfare.
it's really
It's
sad.
just there.
It has like a barrier, like a little cloth barrier, and then it's the time that I think it's the time that Marty went back to the future, or went back to 1955. So that time is still blinking, and it's a single. It should be the single pine.
Hmm.
Oh, so it should be him returning then if it's a single pine. I think it's a single pine. It's him returning. If it's the twin pines, I think it's the other way around. But yeah, we still have the sign, and we still. I think they did it this year too. They celebrate Back to the Future Day here at the mall because this is, it's the one landmark that still exists where, because you can't go to the Universal lot you can't go to the courthouse, the Universal lot to celebrate. So you go to the mall that
Which is a
was
shame
filmed for.
that
Yeah.
they don't do the a celebration there with, what do they call it? The walking tour. Not do a walking tour, but just walk to the courtyard and, you know, have a little shindig or whatever, or a little photo op for 3 hours, and then go about your night.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Ginger just convinced me though to get an apartment in Rhode Island because it's $550 for a micro loft apartment with a bathroom. I'm sold. $550? That's not even a closet here in California.
Right.
That's like a
foyer.
You open one. Yeah. It's not. Yeah. It's just like, here's your 1 foot by 1 foot like piece of land for $550. Like, yeah, for $550, you won me. I'm gonna be there, 100%.
I mean, yeah. Then you got to live in Rhode Island.
I mean, yeah.
I don't know anything about Rhode Island. I think you can walk across it in a whole day. I think like its narrowest point.
Yeah. The 550. Yeah, because I mean, and you have you do have the convenience of the restaurant. So technically, the money you're not spending on rent, you could just spend for food.
Yeah, I mean, like apparently at that arcade one, there's like, you know, little coffee shops and, you know, little shops on the first floor. I mean, I think in the interview the lady was like, yeah, you know, the weather here sucks sometimes, and when it's shitty outside, it's nice to just be able to be inside.
That's true. It's weather resistant.
Mm-hmm.
And plus, you don't have to worry about getting food delivered. You just have to go down your freaking stairs to get food.
Well, I'm sure people would still get food delivered because, you know, because it's an option.
I guess so. Yeah. But like, you have bragged. I'll use those in big, you know, inverted commas or quotation marks. You've bragged about having a restaurant that knew what your usual was, right?
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, you have a usual. Yeah. I would, if I'd lived in an apartment building with restaurants below me, and I went there every day, or not every day, but at least like often enough to where they're like, you know, I went in, they're like, the usual, Francis? I'm like, yeah, the usual. I'd be so excited because it's like, I have a usual.
Sure.
Oh, that's kind of cool. I would love that actually.
When I first moved into this living situation that I'm in, there's a Red Robin about 2 blocks from here, and I'm not a bar person. I don't like going to a bar to have a beer and watch a game or something. I don't like the bar environment. Sports bar, better environment for me. It's just more friendly, I guess. I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for. It's a better environment for me. And I just, you know, I felt like you know what? It'd be nice to go watch the hockey game, you know, get out of the house, have some fish and chips or something. And I went, I don't know, for maybe a month or so to this Red Robin, you know, maybe once a week or something like that, where the bartender guy at least remembered my name. I was like, oh, well, you know, hey, that helps. That helps. My job. Go ahead.
Now I want you to be a regular where they're like, oh, it's the ninja. Hey, ninja. You know, like I want them to call you by your like nickname.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, Francis.
Takis, oh.
I was at a gym and rock show, like gems you'd put in jewelry.
Stones.
Yeah, stones.
Yeah.
Gemstones. And I'm just walking around, and this person approaches me and says, sorry to bother you, but I'm pretty sure you're the 303 Ninja. And I was like, yes, I am. And who is you? And why do you know that about me? And then it made sense. We're mutuals and been friends on the Facebooks for a long time, but never met each other in person. But between the Twitters and the Facebooks, familiar enough, seeing my face enough times, and since then, anytime I've run into this person, we always, you know, say, you know, hey, what's going on? You know, nice to see you. It's just kind of cool to It doesn't matter who recognizes you when and for why. It's cool when someone remembers your name. And so, my job, protecting kayfabe, I'm different locations every day.
Yeah.
It's really cool when I walk into one of the locations that I haven't been to in a long time, a couple weeks maybe even, and the person that runs that part of the business comes up to me and says, "Hi, Josh, how you doing?" Like, you have no reason to remember who I am. I'm just a faceless kind of person that comes in here and does some shit and leaves. But it's cool. It's cool to be remembered.
Yeah.
Did pretty good at protecting my job right there, didn't I?
You did. You did
Good.
very well.
Good.
So yeah, so yes, so you've had that experience already where people recognize you. I would like to. I mean, that would be the benefit of living in an apartment above a bunch of businesses.
I'm not a drinker.
The usual.
I'm not a drinker, but it would be cool to go to. I mean, I've had a pho restaurant where I'm the regular, but go to like just a, whatever, some little trendy thing that you happen to live above, and all your clothes and everything you own smells like the restaurant that lives right below you. So you might as well become a regular there. That's the only downside, I think, to living above a restaurant.
Yeah. But you want your own Cheers experience where everyone knows your name.
Yes.
And people go, your equivalent of no, and
yes.
Everyone just screams out your name when you enter into the.
That when Bennigan's existed, well, speaking of sports bars and regulars, when certain bartenders at that place recognized me as I walked in, they would start pouring, because I did drink at the time, they would start pouring my beer before I even got sat, whether I was going to sit at the bar or at a table. And if it was at a table, it would be sitting there by the time I sat down. It was cool. They didn't say my name when I walked in.
Jimmy John's of bars, yeah.
The Jimmy, yeah. That place scares me.
They didn't say your name, but they knew you. They're like, there he is.
Hey,
there's my boy.
Yeah.
Here's his beer.
It's the overtipper.
Oh, there you go. Better give him the good one. Get him that Corona. Get him that Heineken.
Yeah, whatever.
Beer was that you got.
Heineken.
I don't know. I'm thinking of movie endorsed beers. But yeah. So there you go. Like, I think that's it's funny that that's the topic that you had in mind. And
it just struck me because it started raising a lot of questions to me. Like, I know it's on the second and third floors of this arcade mall, whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
They open up for business at 9 or 10 like a regular mall. Let's just assume that they do. What's stopping anybody, especially bitch-ass kids, from running up from those second and third floors and causing a ruckus?
You probably have a key to get into a door that gets you up to the upper floors. You probably have a key,
I mean, these are probably elementary fucking questions that I have, but they're still questions that I had.
I think the one thing that would annoy me, because I went to this place that would have big like celebration events. It's like, oh, it's Mardi Gras Wednesdays, and they would have a big band music, and then they would have like crowds.
Tiffany shows up, or fucking,
right.
Britney Spears or something.
Yes.
Who else performed the balls?
And but they would show up, and then this was an outdoor mall with the apartments above the stores, and I'm like, my God, the noise at it was like at 9 o'clock at night. It's like, it's not that late, but it's 9 o'clock at night and it's loud. Like, I can't watch TV, right? Like, because I wouldn't be able to hear anything.
But I think if you're the type of person that lives down there above all these trendy things, that you're going to be down there experiencing it, or hanging out your balcony showing your tits.
Sure. But not all the time,
I mean, it doesn't stop them in fucking Mardi Gras, whatever that town is called. They're just, George got a paycheck and the band starts playing and titties fly out. It's crazy.
I'm just okay, but this is.
it's
okay,
75
sure.
today. Somebody strike up a band. Let's throw some beads.
But I think that'd be the only thing is if it has that kind of like environment where they do they do big events at the place and it's loud and annoying. Then I'd be. But then it's like, well, I'm only paying $550. Like, oh well. I guess I have to live with the sound. I guess I have to just buy some earplugs and go to bed.
Buy a really thick blanket and just drop it over your windows and door and hope it deadens the sound enough.
Just get soundproofing panels or something. I mean, sure
get soundproofing panels like all these YouTubers do and nail them into the wall. Make sure you don't fucking make sure the pieces are straight and perpendicular to each other.
I don't get it.
I can't tell you how many videos I've seen where I'm focused on the foam behind them because it's not straight. And it's like literally nailed in with like these big hunking nails.
You gotta, you need to. You can't have echo. You want good audio. You can't have echo.
I understand that, but there's like double-sided tape.
Yeah.
And like,
what are you gonna do? It is what
there's things called levels.
Yeah. That's true. So.
You can even get really anal and snap a chalk line on your wall and make sure you place all your grids, all your squares perfectly.
But speaking of like the mall, like the
mall
life
experience,
mall life. Yeah. Santa is there and all the Christmassy stuff. Are you in the holiday? Are you all holiday spirity now? Are you in the holiday? Has Mariah Carey graced your door?
Thankfully not. Holiday spirit, we're getting there. I watched Gremlins the other day. I think Scrooge.
Did you really?
Yeah, Gremlins is great. Scrooged is, I think on the batter's circle or up to bat next, I think. To lead up to Christmas Vacation.
Sure.
Outside of that, not particularly. Just because reasons that we won't talk about on here, money's rough. And
I can imagine.
Christmas, even the family dynamic of gift giving is a lot easier than it used to be back in the day. It's still just like it's just tough. It's just tough. But it's still fun. I have a great time still. It's just, just added pressure.
Yeah. I'm just like trying to get into the spirit of things and listening to holiday music. And have you ever heard of this musician? Her name is Sabrina Carpenter. Have you ever heard of her?
Heard of? No. Seen videos of her pretending to fillet a microphone while pulling her own hair. Yeah, I've seen that.
Did she really do that?
Yeah. That was
okay.
That was kind of hot. Apparently, she's an ex-Disney chick, and people are shocked at her actions. And I'm like, are you really that shocked? What Disney chick has come out of Disney and not been pretty provocative?
Look at Miley Cyrus, right? Like, she's
yeah,
like the
Miley Cyrus let fucking dudes. I don't think you say that on the Twitch, but they let people freely touch her. She let that happen. She took a note from Courtney Love jumping into pits in the 90s. Instead of jumping in the pit, she just sat on the edge of the thing and said, "Here, you pretty much see it anyway. Touch it."
So she. I was looking. I was trying to find new holiday songs. Annette Funicello. Oh, I like how Ginger brings up Annette Funicello, by the way, who is like the most tame of Disney. She did the beach all the beach movies and TV shows, and like she was a Mouseketeer, and
Like one
yeah,
of
I
like
feel
the
like she was
original
pretty
ones,
famous.
right?
One of the original ones.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I'm talking Britney Spears era and up.
Yeah. She was a Mouseketeer too. Okay, so I brought Sabrina Carpenter up, and you kind of led me into it too by saying that she did the whole thing, because she put out a Christmas song, and I've never combined horny and Christmas together, but she did.
I
Like
mean,
she somehow made a Christmas song about being horny, and I'm like, is this a Christmas song? Like, is this a real Christmas song? Because it's really just like it's just like a sexually charged Christmas song. It's really weird. Like it throws me off because it's like that's not what Christmas is about, but apparently this song is.
well, I mean, it is about giving gifts, and they say children are gifts.
Yeah, well, I guess so. Just like, but it's insane. Like you'll have to listen to it sometime. I urge.
I mean,
people to listen just
that
to
now you're
let me
asking
know
a
if I'm
bit much.
insane.
Now you're asking a bit much. You know, I'd much rather watch someone pretend to fillet a microphone than listen to whatever they're talking about. But you know, I'll give it a listen.
It's a really weird song. Like it really, I it's so much so that I keep thinking about it, and that's why I'm bringing it up. I wouldn't bring it up if it was something I just
Sure, no,
I just,
I've known you
that
long
does-
enough that you know
yeah.
if something you brush shit off your shoulder, but if you know,
Yeah.
you find it
Like, there's a song
intriguing enough, it's gonna sit there and be like, hey, let's think about me for
yeah,
a
'cause-
second.
I even think of like Christmas movies. There's no like horny Christmas movie where like they want to bang each other. They want to be in love or whatever. But do you ever, is there a Christmas movie where they're like, I gotta get laid by the Santa or something?
Was Jenny McCarthy in any Christmas movie? Because if so, probably.
Oh, no, she was in Funny because I remember
There's another
I
interview
watched
we're
this,
never
a
getting.
Clip. I watched the clip of her. I think it's January. She was in a scary movie, wasn't she? She was in a scary movie.
I think so. Yeah,
I think she was.
that's Halloween.
Yeah.
Well, that's spoof. It's not necessarily Halloween. But
Yeah, it's a spoof.
spoof.
But like,
the ref. No. Nobody's nobody's
my
horny.
point.
They're just angry in that movie, which you know can be confused for horny.
yeah, I guess it's that. I guess that's the point I'm trying to make. It's like she made this song that like. Because I was originally going to complain today about a song where it's all about getting like, it's a song where this woman, it's all about her wearing her stretchy pants so that she could eat a bunch of food for the holidays. Like that's the song. Very innocent, kind of stupid.
But that better fits the holidays that we live in today and the society that we live in today, instead of the Christmas songs that were made in the fucking 1800s and shit.
Oh yeah, well whatever. I mean that's.
I love a white Christmas, but fucking Bob Hope and the other it wasn't Bob Hope.
Oh, like Frank Sinatra.
Who is White
Martin.
Christmas? Who is White Christmas?
That was Bing Crosby.
Yeah. Friend of the show. Well,
Friend of the show, dead.
well, he's
dead
not,
Bing
but
Crosby.
the great granddaughter of Bing Crosby is friend of the show.
There you go.
Former Star Trek actor, I think.
Oh, that's right.
But friend of the
Oh
show.
man,
We partied with Bing Crosby's great granddaughter.
yeah. I mean, if you could call it that, I guess. Yeah.
Hey, look, I got pictures and video that have never been seen by anybody but my eyes and my phone of that evening of
Wait, was that for?
Philadelphia.
Yeah, but like that you could. Oh.
No, I was asked by both of them to not release any of that. Then Stan actually asked me as well, but yeah. One of the actors I have can't speak anymore, so that's video I'm keeping forever.
leave Lou Ferrigno alone.
Nope. Better is his voice actor. I'm drawing a blank on right now on his name, but he had a stroke and he can't speak anymore.
Oh no! Oh, that's
Yeah.
okay. No, well, that's different. That's different.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I did forget about Denise Crosby. She's a character.
She is.
She was tasked. She was tasked at a convention I went to. They like asked her to do a cameo for them, to just like say something because it was like an anniversary for this particular convention, and it's like a very small like podcast. It's like for a specific podcast, and they're like, "Hey, Denise Crosby, say something for the fans because I guess they've had her as a guest or something, or she's done something for the show at some point." And she disappointed everybody by like she wouldn't go on camera to talk, so she got her little figurines, like her little action figures, and talked through the action figures, and gave the message to the action figures. And we're like, you just show your face. You're like right there. We can hear your voice.
There's an appearance.
Why did you use the stupid action figure?
That's an appearance fee.
Oh, you know what? I think you're right. I think that was what it was. It was like because they got it for free. They didn't pay her for this. So you're probably right. It's like, oh well, that's an appearance. Yeah, makes sense.
I'm pretty sure
That makes more sense.
when the celebrity that you're so excited to see does a video message to the con that says I'm not coming, I think they get paid for that still.
I'm sure they do. They get comped in some way.
Yeah. But to do it through action figures, that's see, sometimes you just need an outside angle.
Yeah, I guess. It was cute, but it was just like,
yeah. I can understand the disappointment. I think I don't know. I don't know what's worse. Getting the message from the con that celebrity X just isn't going to show up, or to arrive at the con and to get a video message from celebrity X that says, "Sorry, not going to be able to make it. I know you're excited to see me. It's Friday at doors, but sorry, not going to be there." I'm not sure what's worse.
I know this is a seat of your pants kind of podcast, but I'm going to ask this question anyway, even though I didn't plan to asking you. But you haven't really done many conventions this year, have you?
No. Outside of, let's just call it, FanX Denver. I almost called it Denver Comic Con. No, even the really small shows I didn't hit because I'm working. I work a lot of the weekends now, so it's not really convenient for me. And they a lot of the small shows close at 5, 6 o'clock. So it just doesn't. It's not convenient if I'm working till whatever time to then try and make it to there. So it's just miss out on them. Hopefully get back to it next year, but all depends on scheduling. I can only request so many days off.
Wow.
Or request so many schedule, workarounds.
Right. Because you do get vacation, right? You have vacation days.
I do have vacation days. They a lot of them got eaten up this summer, but it's all right. Yeah. That's what they're there for. I'm
Exactly.
I'm 47. I work so I can take some time off. I don't work and bank up all my time to have the most time in the company. Like I know people that do that. Like I have 180 hours of PTO. It's like, take some fucking time off.
Yeah, what are you saving it for?
Yeah. One, what are you saving it for? And two, no job should be so important that you can't take 2 weeks off from. Like you, the individual. Somebody should always know how to do your shit.
No, no, definitely. Definitely, you're not wrong.
Like, I'm too old to just work my ass off for nothing. Especially what I do now.
Yeah.
Which we won't get into.
Okay, well, I was just curious. Because you hadn't talked about conventions in a while.
No, it saddens me because I do. It is something that I really enjoy doing, It is a lot of fun to go to still. It's there's a part of it that's missed as far as like not being around all the friends. Not just the traveling friends. I'm talking about the real friends that we've made over the years doing this. It sucks that, you do only see them every once in a while, once a year or whatever. Or it's been 5-6 years before we've seen some of these people.
It has been. It's funny because it doesn't feel like that long ago, but it's been 4 years since COVID, and that's the last time we've seen anybody. Like, oh my God.
And it's just I don't know. It's different now.
It is.
The whole thing kind of changed.
A lot of people have moved on.
A lot of the creators that we got really close to aren't even doing it anymore. They left the comic book world. They're off doing regular job stuff now, living their lives, raising their kids, whatever. Companies that, I've been kind of intimately close with. I'm not even sure exists as we speak right now. The hoodie that I'm wearing right now. I'm not even sure that company exists anymore.
Yeah.
And
I'm in shock sometimes when I see some of our old podcasting friends like all of a sudden put out a new episode of a show that I'm like, I thought was gone. Like, oh, you guys are still around. Oh, that's good. It makes me feel good. It's like, oh, thank God you guys are still around. But I'm really surprised. I'm like,
right.
I haven't heard from you guys in so long.
The first podcasts that I ever listened to aren't very regular as far as putting new stuff out, but they still exist. Well, one of them doesn't. But one of the three that I started first listening to, two still occasionally put out episodes. And one is about a show that hasn't been out in 15 years. So try and figure that out. I think they're going back and reviewing episodes because there's new hosts. There's
right.
One of the original voices is still, it's a Smallville podcast that I'm talking about. And they've put out new episodes of, with new hosts with one of the original voices. So the original voice is getting a new perspective kind of on these new guys going back and watching the show that he was so heavily invested in and partially involved in some way.
Yeah. In a way, I'm kind of sad that I've ever stopped some of the shows that I've done, that I made and created. And I kind of like, oh, well, yeah. Like, I would have been happy to have indefinitely been doing, like, with you and oh, God, why is her name escaping?
Shelley.
Back when we were interesting. That was like, I really enjoyed doing that because there was a lot of nostalgia. And I like nostalgia.
Mm-hmm.
So it would have been nice to have kept that going for like 1,000 episodes or whatever. That'd have been fun. But like, yeah, I'm kind of sad when shows just go away, pick up and leave. I'm sure we'll continue podcasting, but I'm sure at some point this will evolve into something else.
Oh, probably.
Or it'll probably keep its name, but it'll evolve into something else.
Yeah. I mean, every show that I've been sitting in the driver's seat for is really just the original podcast I put out. It just has different. It just has different co-hosts.
You're not wrong.
And it's basically the same shit. It just has different titles. Because I've never wanted to be pigeonholed in anything. So it's always just been randomness since 2004. 2003, 2004. It's just always been randomness.
Well, so technically you we didn't do anything for your 20th anniversary of podcasting. We didn't do anything for 20 years in podcasting.
It's all right. Well, no.
You should get a watch.
Let me think. No, it wasn't that early. I wasn't that early. I got an iPod.
It was. Yeah, it was.
I got an iPod. No, 2009. 2009 is when I started.
Oh, you're right. It is 9. You're right. It's
It's
9.
into 2008 or
Right.
somewhere in 2009 is when I started. Because after listening to podcasts since like 2003, roughly, it's like, I think I can do this.
I mean, look, 15-year anniversary still 15 years.
Yeah.
It's a long time. Yeah.
Thousands of dollars in equipment, and sometimes I only used it once, and I was like, well, that was not the right piece of gear to get. Oh well, we'll move on.
Well, it's look, it's a hobby. It's not our job. Otherwise, we'd be in a fancy studio. We'd be like, we'd be driving into our podcast studio or something, or you'd have a basement. Your basement it has like the sign in neon in the back. We wouldn't blur our backgrounds because you'd have the neon sign of the show in the background.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Right.
When you actually walk into the basement, it looks odd as fuck to have a desk, out from the corner of the room instead of in the corner. But, you got to have I got to have a backdrop, man.
And then the joke about the random placement of soundproofing foam would have been a responsibility to you because you'd have to have soundproofing foam, like in different parts of your studio. You'd call it your studio.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
If we really think back long and hard enough, people will remember there used to be a bed where I'm pointing behind me, vertically held against the wall.
That's right. Yeah.
I didn't know. I didn't know what to do with it. It wasn't mine to get rid of, but I wanted to get rid of it, and I finally got permission to get rid of it. So that's why it's not there. Now it's boxes. But
so I mean, there's some evolution to your studio. Location.
Yeah.
There's some evolution.
There's some professionalism here. There's lights.
Honestly, that's all I've ever wanted was to eventually evolve. I mean, I know we're never going to make money off this because a handful of people make money off of podcasting. Even though it seems like everyone does, but it's only a handful of people. And if we had the money, I would love to have our own little studios with our soundproofing foam and our our black walls or something. The neon sign in the background.
Look, man, if it was up to me, we would be doing this on a big round table. Everybody would have.
Oh, you want to do the round table thing?
It'd be a round table. Everybody would have an arm and a mic. I just bang the microphone like a amateur, and maybe a little laptop or a little tablet so you can see topics or something like that. And then there'd be some dork in the corner that would have a switchboard that would be able to, focus the camera on whoever's talking, so I can just sit here and just host and not check levels while we're doing things and all that sort of stuff. Well, I make it sound like it's so hard to look over at fucking a bar going up and down going, oh, levels, I gotta check levels.
Look, I've always wanted Josh to have what kind of always been your definition of success, which is to have a producer. I've always wanted you to just have a producer because that was like your measurement for like this is what you've made it. Because that's what you always bring up is having somebody to do all the work, to do the work in the back end, while you just see like they're the ones that put up the articles when we talk about an article. They're the ones that does the points sound effect when I point to them. I want the point sound effect.
Right.
Points. Gotta get. Yeah. I don't want to do it. I don't want to be touching the buttons.
Right. See, it took me time. I had to look over, make sure I was hitting the right button.
Yeah.
That's important. It'd be awesome to look over and be like, okay, man, we're ready, and have him count us down. Stop counting after 3.
Does the scene transitions?
Yes.
He focuses the camera on one of us and the other.
If we were to, well, I don't know if he still does it anymore, but if we were to equate it, we'd need a red band to, their Joe Rogan. He was a producer on his show, the early days. I don't know who does it now,
okay.
but yeah, just somebody to hit the switchboard, someone to, if we got a phone call or something, to screen the call, make sure it wasn't, actually I wouldn't want someone to screen it too hard, because that'd be the fun of having some randomness happen. Sure. But yeah, it would just be cool. It would be really cool. At the same time, being able to do it all myself, if the opportunity comes up, I know that I have the gear to get it done.
Yeah.
I don't have enough microphones, but if I did, you know what I'm saying.
If anyone wants to grant Josh's holiday wish of being a producer for free, can't pay us, but what we can do is pat you on the back for a job well done.
For doing a great job, yes.
Doing a great job. Once every week, and sometimes once every month, depending on the month, you would have a job with us producing. Put it out there into the world. Whisper in Santa's ear.
Need some media student that just wants to get some experience touching buttons.
Yes. Some college intern. If you find some college intern who's looking for credit, we can't give it to him, but we're not accredited ourselves.
We can give them the credit of helping us out.
Yeah, we'll sign the paperwork, but we don't know if it'll count. We'll sign the little sheet.
I give this kid 3 credits for being my producer.
I mean, yeah. I don't know, but anyway,
his work was worth 2.5 credits.
Well,
I don't.
That's all I have to say on that. It's just I have no transition out of that other than that's just it's just a fun little thing. But yeah, it's interesting that we've been doing this for so long, and continue.
What's really surprising to me, actually, Francis, is that there's not, and maybe there is, and I'm not aware of them, but there isn't like podcast studios where you can go rent space / equipment that's in a studio.
I think there are, actually.
Maybe in fucking LA land. Like a fucking workspace, shared workspace type of situation. Maybe there is something like that here. I've never looked into it, to be totally honest with you. Because it just kind of popped in my head just now as I'm thinking about it. But because I know, do you remember our Detroit friends out there? They had Podcast Detroit, which was a building set up for nothing but podcasting. They had several different recording studios within, and you go in there, rent space, and produce your show.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You found something. I could see you found something.
I did. It's in your city.
Oh.
$25 per hour. So $25 per hour.
Okay.
It does have the soundproofing foam all around the room. Maximum of 4 people in the studio for the hour. 100 square feet. But it's a square table. It's not a round table.
That's fine.
It's a square table.
Yeah.
With mics.
Yeah.
With 4 mics and headphones with a mixer in the middle. But yeah, it's available for you to rent for $25 an hour. So
that's not bad. That's not bad. I mean, if you're going in there if you decided to do that, I mean, you'd have to go in there and fucking have a plan.
Yeah.
Have an outline. Have, something lined. We couldn't go in there and do this. Not for $25 an hour, but an interview. Yeah. That would be worth it.
For $20 an hour in Centennial, Colorado. I don't know where Centennial is. In Centennial, there's another podcasting room that you can rent for 10 hours a month. So you're essentially paying.
It's a flat fee for
$120 a month. Yeah,
interesting.
for 10 hours. Yeah.
Where's the other
there are
location? Where's that?
spaces-
Where was that first location?
Aurora.
Oh, well, look, that's where I live.
That's yeah. I look specifically for your city.
Oh, okay.
So I
Centennial is a neighboring city.
So yeah, there's several more. So there are actually
It's something I've just never looked up because I just kind of figured one, either they didn't exist or they would kind of be out of the price range. They are out of the price range.
It's not that bad.
No, that's out of the price range for a weekly fucking thing. Like I said, though, you score a fucking cool in-person interview that you have time to set up and plan for. Yeah. Here's the place where we're meeting at. You know, what kind of coffee do you like? I'll get you a coffee. We're gonna do this interview, bust it out. Be a lot better than just showing up with a handheld and be like, "Here, hold this."
So, in California, in my neck of the woods, average is $75 to $100 an hour. So, yeah.
Does it come with a fucking geek
$100
to run the shit, or is it just the room?
Just the room for an hour.
Jesus.
Just a podcast studio for an hour.
With equipment or no?
With equipment, yeah.
Okay.
One of them is 2 chairs in like a talk show studio-esque kind of room.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is with a round table with mics. But it's between $70 and $100.
Jeez. Well, I shouldn't complain. Well, 25 is definitely doable over 75.
Jeez. Yeah.
It's interesting. It's something that if something actually came up where it could be planned ahead of time and everything, that I would invest in that, because
that'd be cool. Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to do it, you might as well go all out and do it as best you can.
Of course.
And then Pearl says $25 an hour sounds decent. I spent around $100 to record voiceovers.
There you go. $100 for a voiceover. I mean, jeez, you better.
Hopefully you got most of that back. I remember doing voiceovers where I had to time each sentence between a smoke detector battery going off.
Well, what are you going to do? Get a battery?
I made it ultimately, but it wasn't one that, I was responsible for. Let's say that.
Oh, in that case, you get a hammer. That's the case. You get a hammer.
It did make a few of those voiceovers a little challenging when, the sentence would go a little long and I'd have to, either speed up my voice or, try and fix it in post.
Yeah.
But look at us talking inside baseball, that shit no one cares about.
Well, I only talked about it because of conventions and missing conventions and stuff like that. Are your dreams.
The conventions are fun. They're a hell of a lot more fun when you go with somebody.
Exactly.
And especially if you go with somebody that, has the same mindset of you of trying to gain some kind of content to push you to do that. Because a lot of times I forget that I'm supposed to be getting content and just enjoy myself with whoever I'm with. So I think you need to come out. And,
it's collab time. Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's the thing. I collab with the same small handful of people when I do, and it's fun. I love it. And it's great. I wouldn't trade it for anything else. But I need my co-host to come out, or me come out to where the co-host is, and the two of us go on some adventure where, we walk into situations that we're not qualified to be in.
Yeah.
But they like the size of our egos and let us come in.
That'd be nice.
It's worked so far, Francis. I don't understand why it couldn't continue to work.
Well, soon.
Yes. We just need to find the
look,
conduit and a place to do it at.
I was gonna say, there's a couple of hurdles I have to jump through.
Yes.
Jump over first.
Yes. There.
So
is
I'll get through that, then we can make things work.
Well, I mean, if you get in contact with the right people, Francis, you could probably. I'm trying to make a United Healthcare joke. I'm failing.
Oh man! Oh, that'd have been so funny.
I was just trying to think, like, there's probably a fresh liver or kidney.
Well,
what the fuck you need? The kidney, yeah.
Kidney.
Yeah.
I mean, liver. I could,
I mean, everybody could probably use
now if I want the new liver.
Everybody could probably use a refresh on their liver, but yeah. You need kidneys.
What?
Yeah.
Well, what I should have done was when apparently they were looking for a CEO really shortly after the assassination, and I'm like, oh, I'm qualified. Am I just supposed to swindle people out of their money? I can do that.
So here's a question for you, Francis, and I'm sure there's a definition, but I'm asking you, what makes a difference between a murder and an assassination? Because if that guy, that healthcare guy was just fucking George walking down the street and he got shot in the back, would that not just be a murder?
I think it's the amount of planning and stuff that.
I mean, if you see the same motherfucker walking down the street every day and you decide that one day you're going to shoot him in the back, that doesn't mean it's an assassination. I don't know. I don't understand what the difference is. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I think in this particular case, this wasn't just like that easy. That simply planned out. I mean, it was planned out. Like apparently it was really like step by step planned out as a thing to happen. Who knows if it's this guy that they captured or not? I mean, I don't know. Part of me doesn't believe it's this guy that got captured.
He would have got away with it if it wasn't for those pesky McDonald's employees.
Yeah.
And the old man.
Which is why I don't believe it.
The old man that fingered him at the McDonald's. That sounds dirty.
Yeah. That's why I don't believe it. Who knows? But no, that's here. I'll end on a fluff piece. Let's just end on.
Well, usually I've got the fluff piece. I tried to make a joke about a murder that just happened and it failed. So let's see what happened at the cat parade this week.
So here's the fluff piece. I went to Las Vegas for Thanksgiving weekend. I went to a very fancy restaurant that forced me to eat at the bar because I didn't get a reservation. So they're like, eat at the bar. I'm like, fine, I'll eat at the bar. So I'm eating at this bar, and this woman sits beside me, obviously inebriated, about 20 years my senior, starts staring at my food.
Oh, God.
And is like, that looks amazing. I got a nice steak for the holidays. I'm like, I'm giving myself a treat. So I got the steak, really big steak. People were asking about it, like, around the bar. Like, wow, where's that? That's amazing. It looks delicious. I'm like, yeah, it's on the menu. Just order it. I don't know why you're surprised. It's not like it's a secret. We're at a steakhouse. Like, it's on the menu.
It's a secret steak off the secret menu.
So the lady decides to just sits beside me, orders a wine, and just stares at me like the whole time I'm eating. Actually, I haven't got my food yet, so she's staring at me. And then the food comes, and she's still staring at me. Then she looks at my food, and she's like, damn, that looks delicious. I bet it's delicious. And I'm like, I'm about to find out. I'm sure it's great. It's like, oh, that looks really good. And it's big. Really big. Think you're going to finish that all by yourself? I'm like, I'm going to try. It's like, I don't know. Looks really big. I don't know if you can finish it all on your own. I mean, I don't know. That looks like a lot of work. It's like I'm sure I'll manage. And she just kept bugging me about it. I don't know if she wanted some or something. Like she was trying to work her way
I
to
mean,
getting
she
some
might
of my
have
food.
wanted some. I don't know if it was a steak or not, but
I was afraid of that too because she kept staring. She did stare at me a lot. And I was just like, oh God, leave me alone, lady. But
she was like
just
a
kept.
OG prosty fucking coming to get,
I think she was. It's not the first time I've been. It's not the first time I've been propositioned by a
dude,
prostitute.
you're
But
alone in a bar on Thanksgiving
that's true.
in Vegas.
That's true.
Probably a
Vegas.
prosty.
Probably because maybe she was dressed provocatively. But she kept asking, and she finally, after the millionth time I said no, she did end up walking away. But she did come like. She wouldn't leave completely. She would stand there and stare at me for a little while longer.
Oh, so the she was kind of like the window washers at fucking car intersections. Like they don't really go away, but they kind of, they blow you a kiss as they walk away.
So, if you were in that situation, Mr. Josh, what would you have done?
Depending on my annoyance level. So because it'd be fun to be on the annoyed level. Let's go with that one. After about the third or fourth question, I'd probably ask her how much.
Oh, that would have been a good question. That would have been a good question.
Because if she's a prosty, she's gonna get excited.
Yeah.
And be like, "Well, we can work that out." And if she's not, she's gonna get offended and tell you to fuck off and leave.
That would have been really funny, actually. That would have been really funny because I was being very patient with her.
I mean,
being very polite.
Look, you got OG prosty. You gotta be a little patient.
Yeah.
You
gotta be.
You gotta be a little patient.
It was late at night.
So you got your lot lizard, right? You got what's the equivalent of the slot machine buzzard? That what tries to get you to leave the hot machine.
The one. Yeah, that's the one I got.
So it's the equivalent. It's the equivalent character. It's just at a bar, and it probably might have been a prosty. All you got to say, Francis, is walk away from it and go, "I still got it."
Because she was alone, right? Mm-hmm. She was alone. She was, she was dressed provocatively. I was alone. Even though,
dressed provocatively
with me. Yeah, in my in my t-shirt and jeans, just like showing off nothing. But yeah, I don't know. I just brought that up because it was the weirdest experience like I've had in a while. I mean, I haven't been in Vegas in like years, and then the year I go back, the year I go back, so I get that. I'm like, oh. Okay.
I think it's hilarious myself. I live for those kind of interactions.
I know you do, Mr. Talk on an Elevator guy. Would have loved that interaction. I did everything to avoid eye contact. I did everything other than like turn my entire body away from this lady who was like again torn towards me with her glass of wine. Like swirling her little glass of wine in front of me.
What was her finger all pickled from stirring her drinks?
I don't know. I didn't look that close. I refused to look. I'm sure you would have noticed. I didn't. I refused to keep looking at her because she wouldn't. She refused to leave me alone.
See, that's the thing. Once someone gets to the annoyance part, that's where I'm really good at making fun of people in front of their face. And they're not smart enough to understand that I'm making fun of them.
Yeah, I needed you there for that scenario. Again,
well,
I was
damn it! Next Thanksgiving, I'm coming out to fucking Vegas, and
you can finally get some White Castle.
Get some White Castle. It's a fancy steak at a bar because that's the best place to eat a fancy steak is at a bar top.
Well, they had a bar at the fancy steak restaurant.
I understand that, but that's not. You don't eat a steak, a big ass brontosaurus steak at a bar. At a bar top. That's what I'm saying.
That true, but I did have a good view of a lovely bartender
Oh, well.
who was who was was a great contrast to the older woman who was trying to pick up on me. Just be able to like she was the one who waited on me, the pretty bartender. So I was like, oh, thank God I can talk to you at least. At least I can pay attention to you
Sure.
and not have to worry. Like I don't have to really look over here, this lady.
That's an experience I haven't had yet. I don't think I've been hit on by a prosty. Not that I'm aware
this is my
of, anyway.
second time. So it's like I must have dollar signs on my forehead or something, or I must seem either that or I seem lonely, which is makes me sadder if I'm just like you
I
look
mean,
really lonely. I should
like I said,
probably go up to this guy who looks really
in a bar
lonely.
by himself on Thanksgiving.
That's true. That's a good point.
I mean,
I can't
it's
argue.
kind of like driving up to a fucking used car lot. I just compared a old prosty to a used car lot. But like the salespeople there, they see you drive up in some kind of not kind of jalopy looking car,
Yeah.
and they just come out of the crooks and cracks of the whole thing to come say hi to you, even though you're already with somebody. You get some asshole that comes by, hey, how you doing? I'm fine. I'm with Jim. Why are you talking to me?
And you're right, because the first time it happened to me, it was the holidays. I was with family, but they went to bed early, and I just decided to stay up and like play on some slot machines because it was there. So that's why I was hit on, because it was the holidays. I was by myself, like one of three people in the room playing slots. So I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense that she came up to me. Now that you say that, like, oh, that makes sense
Sure.
why they approach. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Well, there you go. Well, thank you for that.
Yeah.
I'm glad I know how you would have handled the situation, and I will once again seek your advice should it ever happen to me again.
I mean, you got to be there sometimes to feel out the person.
Well, hopefully the next time
But-
I'm there, you were there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're there for that.
If it's the person running up to try and clean your window washer or your windshield in the car at the intersection annoyance, those people, they get the not fun version. But if they're fun kind of crazy, they're fun kind of annoying, it's fun to be annoying back to them.
Yeah. It was I guess in the grand scheme of things, it was a fun annoying because it wasn't like she was that pushy.
Sure.
She definitely was like hinting at like something that I really at the time couldn't figure out what she was hinting at.
Hey, I was
Like,
walking.
I really have no idea what you're talking about. Why do you keep asking?
With
Where are you walking to?
my job as a saint, I go to different locations all the time. I was walking through one of the locations. Somebody, a female, was walking the opposite direction that me and somebody else were walking. And the lady smiled real big at me and said hi. And I looked over at my coworker and they were like, that was all you, my friend. I was like, yep, still got it.
Pop that collar.
No,
a
yeah,
little bit.
exactly. I was like, well, you popped the collar there. I said, yep, still got it. You just
Again,
when attention comes, you don't have to look at it as always. Oh, it's an OG prosty hitting on me. You got to look at it as someone was trying to get my attention. I still have it.
Yeah.
You just got to spin it so your brain,
Yeah.
lets it make sense to you.
The thing is, the people who did that to you are,
Fair.
women
It's
you'd
apples to
want to.
oranges, but
yeah,
like I said, I have
Someone
been
you'd
hit
want
on
to.
by a prosty that I'm aware of. I mean,
yeah.
strippers, yes, and some of them are prosties, but not an OG. Not an OG prosty.
Yeah. But strippers-
Unfortunately, I don't attract people anywhere close to my age bracket.
Yeah, but at least you go in the opposite direction. You go young, right? You're not getting like a 70-year-old, hitting on you.
I mean, well, there is one. She doesn't hit on me, but I hit on her.
Oh, there you go. Nothing wrong.
But I've been hitting on her since I was 15 years old. So it's different. It's my friend's mom. Now it's my best friend's mother-in-law. But I've been spitting raps at this lady since I was 15 years old. And she puts up with me, and I think she's just the nicest lady in the world for just putting up with me. And I saw her earlier this summer, and I was like, "Hey, how you doing, lady friend?" I won't say whose name it is.
And, yeah.
Right. And she was like, "Hi, Josh." Like,
is that how you flirt? Hello there, lady friend.
Well, no, I said that instead of the person's name.
No, I know, and I mean,
but I was
is your pickup line.
When I saw her, I was like, "Oh, hey," person's name.
I just
haven't seen you in forever. How you doing? Are you looking great?
I mean, maybe it is that simple.
I did say to her one time, "Do you like this husband more than the last one?"
Oh, jeez.
Because when I was 15, I was serious about it, and she's like, "I'm married." I was like, "Yeah, but you don't like him."
It's a whole Stacy's mom situation.
Yeah, but it works.
Yeah, it does. Wow, talk about fluff, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, well, it happens. You got an extra 16 minutes out of it, so be happy. Francis, it's that time of the hour plus. It's that time of the week.
It is.
Where can people find you on the internets if they want to do so, and where they might be able to see you do live things on the internets if they might want to do seeing that?
Yeah, I guess you could do that too. At AK, the other guy on everything, and supergeekedup.com for the live. Even though we do this live, so you could.
Yeah, I mean this is improv too, but it's just not like I'm not giving you an assignment.
Yeah.
To be like, be this character for the next 3 minutes.
Love you too, Ginger.
Yes, love you, love everybody, love you, Ginger. AKA the other guy for all his stuff, as he said. I'm just repeating. Yeah, we'll be back next week. You can find me at 303_ninja at the Twitters, 303ninja on the Instagram. I'm on the Blue Sky if you want to go over there. Find me over there. You can call, text, voicemail 314-764-7631. Spells out POI Pod 1. You can email us at thepoipodcast@gmail.com. You should do that. Like, subscribe, follow, do all those things. I hear when you say subscribe, the little button on YouTube glows. So subscribe.
Is that weird? Oh man, freaks me out.
I think it's kind of cool. Subscribe.
God.
That might be a running joke because I just learned about it the other day, so that might be a running joke in the future. Subscribe. But there's the button for it too. But you can find us next week. Hopefully, I get my schedule in the next couple days, and I can let Francis know when we'll be back next week. But it'll be next week sometime. Hopefully on Tuesday. We'll be back. And hopefully you will too for another hour and some of randomness like this week, where I literally had one thing written down. Song's almost over. We're done here. Anything else you got to say, Francis? You got 5 seconds.
No.
Okay. That's it. See you next time, everybody. The song's over. Goodbye.